Iman Gadzhi is a self-made internet multi-millionaire entrepreneur and marketing genius. So whether you love him or hate him, there is no denying the impact and influence he's had on people online. But how did he get here? Now, I'm not going to go over his childhood story because it's no secret, and Iman himself has spoken on that multiple times. But essentially, after Iman had built IAG Media, his SMMA company that was making him a good stable income of $100K per month at just the age of 18, is when, according to him, he first became a millionaire. Now, at this point, for most people, they would be in absolute paradise. Money is constantly flowing in, you're young, you have location freedom, you're doing whatever you want. But this is around the time when financial gurus and courses were absolutely exploding and going viral. And young Iman himself has found himself in a very lucrative situation. I mean, he's got the knowledge to sell. He became a millionaire at just 18, and he's got all of this money. And did I forget to mention that this whole journey was documented on a YouTube channel, which means that Iman has an audience consuming financial content already. So it all just clicked perfectly. And so was born Iman Gadzhi's Agency Navigator, which Iman calls the biggest education platform out there for agency owners. Thousands of people are paying anywhere between $1 to $3,000 each for his courses. And you don't have to be a mathematician to know that it's a lot of money. So much to a point that Iman literally realized that he was making much more money off his Agency Navigator and his courses than his SMMA. So that's when he decided to shut down his agency, which according to him was bringing him around $1.5 million per year in straight profit. And with this decision starts a whole new era of Iman Gadzhi. Because chances are, if you're familiar with Iman, you most likely found out about him in the last 2 years, and that's no accident. And by the way, when I say this is coming from somebody who actually runs a multi-six-figure educational company. And I also run my own content agency myself, meaning I understand this game. I've been in this space for the last 3 years, and I've researched everything you can possibly research when it comes down to content and marketing strategies. I'm friends with some of the top people in the content game and know exactly what strategies they're currently implementing. Listen, having the right content strategy can change your life. It is no longer a luxury to have. It's a necessity if you not only want to reach greatness, but just stay afloat, especially in the next few years. So whether you sell info or some type of online service, the value in this video is something that others charge thousands for. So do yourself a favor and lock in. So how has Iman been able to exponentially explode over the last 2 years? Now, if you think it's from a disgusting amount of cold outreach and just 10xing his ad spend, you're completely fucking wrong. One of the keys to his explosive growth is his distribution strategy. But before you can even get into distribution, you need to produce something worth distributing. So back in December 2021, almost 3 years ago, Iman posted a story that he was looking to take his content to the next level and wanted to hire experts to do so. He knew that before he could focus on growth, he needed to perfect his content. So when he did gain exposure, they saw his stuff, they consumed it, they engaged, and that would help him reach more people. Like, it's unbelievable. He could stop posting and turn his ads off for the next year, and I guarantee his business will still print numbers. Now, why is that? It's very simple. He has hundreds and thousands of virtual salespeople doing all of the heavy lifting, getting in new people's faces, nurturing people, and doing all of the selling for him. And these are actually not salespeople, it's his content. His content and personal brand are doing all of the prospecting for him. To make it even more interesting, a perfect example is Devin Thatshow. He posts like once a month or something. He doesn't run ads and he doesn't do any cold outreach, but he's running a 7-figure business. Well, how does he do that? Well, it's because he's spending millions of dollars on ads. I'm totally joking. You know what he actually does? He creates masterpieces of short form content that prospect for him, nurture for him, and do all of the selling for him. He spends a few hours creating one masterpiece that he can infinitely leverage to attract more leads, drop his cost per customer, and ultimately just increase his margins. Like, I'm sure his closers literally don't have to do anything on these sales calls. Prospects are just ready to buy. You want to replicate the exact same thing. So this is what the content leverage funnel will do for you if done right. It's going to attract you more leads, so drop your cost per lead, nurture your leads so your cost per call is going to drop, and do all of the heavy lifting and selling for you. So increase your close rate and drop your cost per customer. And it's all by creating content that your ICP wants to see and leveraging the shit out of that. So I'm gonna cover 3 phases of this funnel. Number 1, we have top of funnel, so generating new eyes. Number 2, we have middle of funnel, so nurturing those eyes. And number 3, we have bottom of funnel, converting those eyes into money. Master those 3 things and you will print a lot of money. It's that simple. So let's cover number 1, top of funnel and generating new eyes. This is all about getting in front of your ICP and becoming known. If nobody knows who you are or what you do, then you have nobody to sell to. It's that simple. So here's what we need to do first. We need to figure out who's your ICP, your ideal client profile. Who are we trying to attract? Is it agency owners? Is it coaches? Is it real estate investors? For example, Iman's ICP are SMMA owners or people who are looking to get into SMMA. This is the first step. You need to figure this shit out as soon as possible. It's 10 times easier to rank highest on social platforms when you understand your ICP instead of just blasting broad content. When you look at everyone who's killing it in the space, they're hyper-focused on their ICP. Yes, sometimes they post broader content, but 80% of their strategy revolves around capturing and conquering a specific niche. When you understand your ICP, you understand how they speak, what they want most, and what they struggle with most. And when you understand that information, that's when your ads are going to perform 10 times better, your VSLs, your webinars, and your content. So step one is understanding your ICP. Now, when you understand your ICP, that's when we can begin the ideation process and start creating content that's going to rank and generating new eyes. So let's begin. This is how you're going to find your next 10 pieces of short form content. Again, the goal of your top of funnel content is to generate new eyes and introduce yourself to people who had no clue you existed before seeing your videos. This is all about planting the seed in their mind. So how do we generate more eyes, specifically on Instagram? Very simple. We find 20 to 30 people who are doing something similar to what you're doing. Doesn't have to be in the exact same niche, but we want to follow people who are dominating the IG space. Once we find those people, we start consuming their content, and we want to see which videos are performing the absolute best in the last 90 days. We want to get inspiration from content that has performed well recently and not years ago. Years ago does not matter. We want to create a list of 30 videos that have performed well, okay? Now, what does perform well mean? Well, basically videos that have more shares and saves than usual. For example, if you're trying to study somebody else, I start to notice that each video averages like 30 shares and 50 saves, for example. Then you have those specific outlier videos that have like more shares and saves, like 200 shares and 300 saves. These are the videos that have performed well. They don't necessarily need to go viral, but videos that have performed better than most of their content. Now, once you have those videos, I literally have this automation where I just double tap on the back of my phone and essentially it sets off an automation and it sends the video to my content boards, all transcribed. So it's literally a hack, but soon we're gonna be coming out with the full automation list that's just gonna 10x your productivity. But this is how I was doing it before. You just save the video link to either your notes or really just anywhere. Just keep it organized and save it. Once you save like 30 links, it's time to pull the transcription on all of them. With short form, we want to focus on 4 main things. And the first thing is the hook. How does the video start? The second thing is the value of the video, the big idea. The third thing is the editing. How is it shot and edited? And the last thing is the CTA. What's the call to action? Now that we have all of the transcriptions, it's all about plugging in our own information. The videos are already proven to work. We just need to plug in our own sauce. Now, what's the goal of these videos? To get reach into the specific niche. We don't want to make super broad content like dancing videos or just super cringe videos. We want to make niche specific broad videos. Here's the difference. This is the best steak to eat. Who are you trying to attract? It's probably not going to be your ICP. Or you start it this way. This is how you start an SMMA. It's still a broader video, but it's a broader video in a specific niche. So now this is what we did. We planted the seed and we introduced ourselves to people who had no idea we existed before seeing our content. Now the info space is way too saturated, and selling just through Instagram is way harder than it used to be because everyone else is just doing it. So it's time to further take them through the buying process. We need to show them that we are legit and not just another guru, because we are in a trustless recession, meaning people have their guard up more than ever. Their bullshit detector sensitivity is literally cranked all the way up, and we have to understand why. The online space is growing faster than ever. More and more gurus are flooding the space. That's why closing percentages are dropping and cost per customers are rising. People buy off of trust. Think back to whenever you bought a course or a program or even a service. You probably consumed a lot of their content before purchasing from them. For example, when I bought into Iman's 10K group called Apex, I was already sold. Like, his closers didn't have to do shit. They didn't have to convince me or anything. Like, I was already convinced. And I'm sure 50 of the people that the closer closed are already pre-sold as well. So I'm sure his closing percentage was just through the roof. And a 10% difference in your closing rate can be massive. So let's do some quick math. Let's say your team is hopping on 60 calls per month and your offer is $10,000. 60 calls at a 30% closing rate is 18 closes. So that's $180,000. But let's say you further focus on really nurturing these people before their calls, and now your closing rate jumps up to 40%. That's $240,000. That's 2.8 million a year versus 2.1 million a year. That's a $700,000 difference with the same amount of leads, just a higher closing rate. Now, of course, that's just an example, but there's plenty of people that I know that have been able to increase their closing rate by 5 to 10% just by focusing on their middle of funnel and nurturing people more. Now, there's many ways to nurture people. There's lead magnets, low ticket products, free communities, etc. But YouTube is the best way to nurture people for free. Just look at what all the big guys in this space are doing. Iman with his short form accounts everywhere on Instagram, posting tons of reels, and all that does is drive traffic to YouTube. Brandon Carter, he makes $1 million a month. And again, he posts so many reels, and all he does with that traffic is just sending it to YouTube. Name every big creator who's passed $1 million a month, they all have YouTube. They're dumping everything on YouTube for free. They're giving it all away, specific SOPs, their sales scripts, their low ticket funnels, you name it. They're posting everything on YouTube. And now they aren't giving it all away because they love you or they care for you. They give it all away for free because it builds massive reciprocity with the audience. Again, these are the type of videos that aren't going to perform as well as your top of funnel videos. But if someone sees that video, they're going to want to know what your paid stuff includes. And this is a perfect example of something doing all of the heavy lifting for you, prospecting and selling for you. And the problem is most people operate at a 50% marketing standpoint and a 50% selling point, sometimes even less on the marketing side. Meaning their marketing is just doing enough to get the prospect to be like, okay, yeah, I guess I'll hear what you have to offer. And then the salesperson has to straight up convince the prospect from zero on why they need this certain product. That's literally zero leverage. The salesperson is the one doing all of the heavy lifting. Whereas if you have a few pieces of content that people can binge, I call these hidden video sales letter. It's a normal YouTube video where you add hidden components of sales copy in the video to push the prospect forward to either buying your low ticket, joining your free community, or even booking a call with you straight from a YouTube video. So Instagram is the easiest way to get discovered and attract new eyes. And YouTube is the one that does all of the selling. But there's also this one funnel that you can start leveraging that works amazing. And it's a comment funnel. I'm sure you've seen reels where people say at the end of the video, comment down below for a free resource. Then when you comment below, a sequence fires within the DMs and you get sent an asset. If you want a step-by-step resource on how to run the IG comment funnel to start building up your email list and basically get free leads into your pipeline, I made a step-by-step guide showing you exactly how you can replicate this yourself. I've incorporated hooks to use, my exact ManyChat sequence, and basically everything you need to print with just a few reels. So just click right here. Now, the bottom of funnel is where we turn everyone into paying customers. This is when you want to start pushing retargeting ads to either a VSL funnel or a DM funnel, even a webinar if you have one. Your cost per customer is going to dramatically drop if you retarget everyone who's been binging your content, consuming your short form and long form content. Now, your bottom of funnel can vary from person to person. Some people have setters, some people have DM setters, some people have closers, and some people are doing everything themselves. The most important thing is to have something leveraged to do all of the heavy lifting for you. Top of funnel and middle of funnel can be the same for each person. Having a personal brand that you leverage the shit out of. So if you've watched until this part of the video, first of all, congrats. You just unlocked the next level of your content game. And honestly, if you've been truly focused throughout the whole video and you implement the exact same thing that you just learned in the next 6 to 12 months, I can promise you that you can add another 40, 50, or even 100K to your info business while you're asleep, and your content is doing all of the heavy lifting for you. But what's the catch? Perfecting the content funnel is a trial and error process. I say this as someone who's implemented the exact funnel for myself and my students to get results like these.
I made $11,500 in just over 2 weeks. I think like 16 or 17 days just recently. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I might close a lot more in the next few days, so it might even be higher.
What was it, like 17,500 2 days ago? And then I just closed this sale yesterday for $1,200 as well over 3 months. So that's like $18,000, $19,000 collected in within 2 weeks. So it really was like from zero to hero. So it was insane.
When I say it's a trial and error process, it's because you won't find the right ICP or higher A players from the get-go. That means it could add another 3 to 6 months to figure things out and just to launch this funnel. And this is exactly why I launched Content Launchers. It's a done-for-you service where my team and I, which compromises of top-tier creatives, copywriters, and social media experts, will dive into your business and make you an authority figure and the go-to guy in your industry. You're gonna handle everything from your top of funnel to your middle of funnel. We're gonna create you your video assets that are gonna generate you more attention with your organic content, but also your ads. And we're also gonna situate your middle of funnel to do all of the selling for you. We're gonna handle your Instagram and your YouTube. We're gonna handle your ideation, your strategy, and edit these videos as beautiful as the one that you're seeing right now. So if that sounds remotely interesting to you, what I want you to do is I want you to click the link in my bio and just fill out a quick survey to see if you qualify for this opportunity, because this is something new. So we're only looking for around 2 to 3 people who for a fact I know I can get results for. So if you're looking to leverage content to scale your info business, then fill out that survey, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the other side, and make sure to subscribe for more.